The sky screamed before the ground ever shook, a violent tear of thunder ripping through the clouds as darkness poured into the Pride Lands like a living wound. Animals froze where they stood, instincts screaming that this was not a storm, not a season, not fate. This was an invasion. And it had come with purpose. Kion felt it instantly. The roar stirred inside him, restless and uneasy. Not roaring in warning, but trembling like it sensed something ancient, something wrong. He stood atop Pride Rock, staring into a horizon that no longer reflected the sun. The wind burned cold against his fur, carrying whispers that did not belong to the land. "This isn't natural," Ono said, circling low, his voice tight. "The shadows are moving against the wind." Fuli's tail lashed sharply. "Whatever it is, it's fast. Too fast." Below them, the Pride Lands shifted. Grass darkened, trees bent unnaturally. The circle of life itself seemed to slow, as if bracing for impact. Then the first roar came. Not a lion's roar, not a beast's roar. A sound like the land breaking. The darkness tore through the plains, rising into twisted shapes that crawled, slithered, and sprinted toward the heart of the kingdom. Eyes glowed where eyes should not exist. Forms shifted as if reality struggled to hold them together. "It's here," Besh said softly. Kion didn't hesitate. "Lion Guard," he roared, voice cutting through the fear. "Protect the Pride Lands." They moved instantly. Fuli vanished in a blur. Racing toward the nearest herds, her speed guiding panicked animals away from the advancing shadows. Ono shot skyward, scanning desperately, shouting directions as smoke swallowed familiar landmarks. Best charged forward, planting himself between darkness and fleeing animals, his strength the last line of defense. Bunga leapt beside him, fearless and loud, strutting at shadows that recoiled but did not fall. Kion inhaled deeply and unleashed the roar. The sound thundered across the land, blasting the front wave of darkness backward, tearing open the storm clouds above. Light flooded the battlefield, and for a brief moment, hope ignited. But the darkness didn't retreat. It learned they. The shadows reformed faster than before, thicker, heavier, their movements sharper, as if adapting to the roar itself. The ground split open, black smoke erupting like veins from the earth. From the center of it all, a figure rose, tall, massive, shifting. The darkness had a leader. "So," the voice echoed, vibrating through stone and bone alike. "The guard still stands." Kion felt the raw recoil inside him. "Who are you?" Kion demanded. The figure tilted its head, glowing eyes locking onto him. "I am what remains when fear is ignored. What grows when balance is broken. I am the shadow your legends warned you about." The ultimate darkness had arrived. It raised a massive limb, and the land obeyed. Shadows surged forward in a crushing wave, slamming into the Lion Guard's defenses. Besht was knocked back, skidding across the ground. Fuli barely dodged a strike that shattered the rock beside her. Ono was forced lower, wings struggling against violent winds. Kion Bunga shouted, "We can't hold this forever." Kion's heart pounded. He roared again, pushing back the darkness with everything he had. The roar clashed against shadow in a blinding explosion of light and sound. The shockwave flattened grass for miles. The darkness staggered, then laughed. Borrowed power, it snarled. "Gil don't understand it." A blast of shadows slammed into Kion, hurling him off Pride Rock. Pain exploded through his body as he hit the ground hard, struggling for breath. The roar flickered dangerously. Kion fully screamed, racing toward him. The darkness advanced, step by step, crushing hope beneath its weight. "This land is weak," it said. and you are its last mistake. Kion forced himself to stand, legs shaking, chest burning. He looked around at the battlefield, animals fleeing, land breaking, friends fighting beyond exhaustion, and felt the weight of every life pressing down on him. This isn't over, he growled. The darkness leaned closer. It already is. Then something unexpected happened. Animals stopped running. A zebra turned back. Then another. A group of elephants halted, forming a wall. Birds returned to the sky, circling not in panic, but defiance. Predators and prey stood side by side, fear etched into their faces, but resolve holding them in place. The Pride Lands refused to fall. Kion felt it, a deep pulse beneath his paws, stronger than the roar, stronger than fear. Unity. Lion Guard, Kion shouted, voice rising with renewed strength. We stand together. They regrouped instantly, battered but unbroken, forming a line against the advancing darkness. The ultimate darkness hesitated, its form rippling. This changes nothing, it hissed, pet. Then watch closely, Kion said. Ki roared again, not louder, not stronger, but truer. The sound carried not just power, but purpose. It echoed through every heart standing on that battlefield. The darkness recoiled violently. For the first time, it retreated. But as it pulled back, its voice echoed across the Pride Lands like a promise. This was only the beginning. The storm thickened. The sky darkened once more. The battle had not been won. It had only begun. The darkness did not flee far. It gathered beyond the hills, breathing, watching, learning. The storm above the Pride Lands thickened into a ceiling of shadow, trapping the world beneath it like a cage. No sun, no stars. Only the echo of fear and the promise of return. Kion stood where the darkness had last retreated, his chest rising and falling as the weight of what was coming pressed into his bones. The roar still hummed faintly inside him, but it felt different now, strained, as if even ancient power understood the danger ahead. Around him, the Pride Lands lay wounded. Cracked earth, broken trees. Animals huddled together in uneasy silence. This isn't over, Foley said quietly, staring at the horizon. It's waiting. Besht lowered his head. I've never felt the land hurt like this. Ono landed beside Kion, feathers damp with ashen rain. The darkness isn't just attacking the Pride Lands, he said. It's poisoning them. Slowly, Kion closed his eyes. Every instinct told him the same truth. The next attack would not be chaos. It would be calculated. A low rumble rolled through the ground, deeper than thunder, steady and deliberate. The darkness returned, not as a wave, but as a wall. Shadow beasts emerged in organized lines, their movements synchronized, relentless. The automet. Darkness rose behind them, larger than before, its presence bending the air. You resisted. It boomed. So now you will break. The Pride Lands erupted into motion. Lion Guard, Kion roared. Positions! Puli shot forward instantly, her speed pulling scattered animals into safer paths. Ono took to the sky again, directing movement through the thick smoke. Best charged into the front line, meeting the shadows head-on, his strength shaking the ground with every step. Bunga followed close behind, fearless and loud, refusing to let fear slow him down. Kion unleashed the roar once more. The sound collided with the darkness, but this time it didn't push it back. The shadows absorbed the force, twisting around it, reflecting fragments of the roar back into the land. The ground cracked violently beneath Kion's paws. The ultimate darkness laughed. You see now, it said. Power alone cannot save them. A surge of shadow slammed into the lion guard, scattering them across the battlefield. Fully skidded hard across the stone. Ono was forced down by violent winds. Best struggled to rise as darkness wrapped around his legs. Bunga was thrown aside, rolling to a stop near the edge of a collapsing ravine. "Kion!" Bunga shouted, fear breaking through his usual bravado. "We're losing!" Kion pushed himself up, pain screaming through his body. For the first time, doubt clawed at his heart. The roar was failing. The land was breaking. His friends were hurting because he couldn't stop this. The ultimate darkness loomed closer. "You were never meant to lead," it hissed. "The Pride Lands will fall, and you will watch." Kion looked around him. Animals cried out. The land trembled. Fear spread faster than fire. Then he saw something that stopped his heart. A small group of animals stood their ground in front of Besht, refusing to run. A mother lowered her head, shielding her young. Birds descended, forming a living barrier. Prey and predators stood together, shaking, terrified, but unyielding. They believed in him. Something inside Kion shifted. The roar quieted, and in that silence, he finally understood. Too, the roar was never meant to rule the Pride Lands. It was meant to protect them. "Kion!" Fuli shouted as another wave of darkness surged forward. Kion stepped in front of the lion guard, standing alone between the Pride Lands and destruction. He inhaled deeply, not drawing on power, but on purpose. "I don't fight you with fear," he said, his voice calm, steady, carrying across the battlefield. "I'll fight you alone." He turned back to the land. "Pride Lands," he called out, "stand with me." They answered. Not with roars, but with footsteps. Animals moved forward together. Elephants formed walls. Zebras filled gaps. Birds filled the sky. The ground pulsed beneath them, responding to unity stronger than magic. The ultimate darkness recoiled violently. "No." It roared. "This land is mine." Kion felt the roar surge again, but this time it flowed through him, not from him. He roared once more, and the sound carried unity, courage, and choice. Golden light spread across the battlefield, stitching cracked earth, pushing back shadow. The darkness screamed as its form began to fracture. Shadow beasts dissolved mid-strike. The storm above shattered, light piercing through for the first time. This is impossible. The ultimate darkness howled as it began to collapse. "No," Kion said, eyes blazing. "This is the circle of life." With one final surge, the light overwhelmed the darkness, tearing it apart, scattering it into nothingness. The storm vanished. The ground stilled. Silence fell. Not the silence of fear, but of survival. Slowly, the Pride Lands breathed again. Kion collapsed to his knees, exhausted beyond words. Fuli reached him first, pressing against his side. Besht let out a deep breath of relief. Ono landed nearby, eyes wide with awe. Bunga laughed and cried at the same time, throwing himself into Kion. "You did it!" Bunga shouted. "You really did it!" Kion looked out across the Pride Lands, now bathed in soft sunlight. Scars remained, but life endured. The animals stood together, not cheering, but bowing their heads in respect. The darkness had attacked. The Lion Guard had fought back, and the Pride Lands had chosen courage. The world would remember this day, not as the moment darkness came, but as the moment it was refused.